So we are going to go over application wine today and how you actually do wine um, and get it all going. So first, to get the board for applications, you have to go to the main G&S place, and we're actually going to go there and I'll show you where it is and how to get it and all that other fun stuff. So once you get to the G&S place, you'll let everything kind of load in. You'll see this little map looking thing, and you got Vino Wine. Just left click, your avatar will automatically sit on it and teleport you. Now, on the equipment to do application wine, you want to make sure your presses is 3.0. Your vineyards, it should say 3.0 on these too, even though I do not see that. But I'll go over all of that. You can get your germinators, your wine, and your presses from here. And we'll go over your branches and bottles of where to find all of that and how your blendings go. So when you get ready to buy it, it's 1,500 lindens, 500 lindens a month. And if you're not sure if your sim does or doesn't have one, this is free. Just left click, buy for 0. You'll res it out, you'll click it, open chat, and it'll let you know. If there's not one on your sim, go ahead and buy it. And then once you set your panel up, you can load your farming logo into it by UUID of graphics, and I'll show you how to get that. And when you get ready to pay your monthly payments, you'll come back here and you'll come to this terminal. You'll left click, and on this you have to pretty much get right underneath it for it to activate. So left click, and you'll notice there it goes. So you can click 60 days or 30 days. You'll see your logo appear in here. I'm going to hit exit because I've already paid. Let me close down these chats real quick. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back over, and actually let's get to the cellar real quick. That's where we have our board, so you can see it all set up and everything. Okay. Sorry for textures not loading, and anytime I do my videos it takes a while. So here's the board. This is what it is called. When you res it out, it will ask you if you want English or Spanish, I think. And I do English. Once it's all set up, you can see how the number is how many barrels I have done, and I will explain that. I just found that out. And I've done doing this for about 4 to 5 months, and I just finally learned that you're supposed to number your barrels. When you deactivate it, it's like putting it on pause from what I'm told. I've never hit it. On your logo, you'll left click it and it takes your UUID. To get a UUID of a graphic, you'll just go to your texture and you'll right click, and you see where it says copy UUID. You'll copy that and you'll paste it in, and then you'll see it appear here. Now, once you get your application board up and everything's set and you're ready to do application, you want to go back to your wines, and we'll start from the beginning. So most people who usually start application already have all their equipment out and they're already been doing wine. Once you get your application set up, you need to go to every single thing. So you'll want to pick up every single vine you have, pick it up and re-res it. Now, if you have a code on your wine already and you've been working on it, you're going to lose it. It's going to happen. What I suggest you do is you take your branches from it and save it. If they're really good numbers, I suggest don't pick it up yet. I'd get your four branches from it and then pick it up and germinate it. So if you left click it, you'll notice it does not say application on here. It is application wine though. And if you look at the vine, it does say 3.0. That is very important at 3.0. That, to get your codes, when you do your fishing tournaments, you'll get cuttings and you can res them out, you unpack them, and you res them to the ground. The cuttings will just say cuttings. And let me go ahead and grab one and show it to you so you can see. And sorry, there's no cuttings on that one yet. So I already know that this code is A0T000. Right click edit. You go to branches. That's all your branches will say. They won't have the code or what it is. Now, when you go fishing, it's going to be the same way. You won't know what it is. But when you get your branches from fishing, you can res them out. You res 4 out at a time. And you'll left click on your germinator and it will say load, and then you'll see in the sub menu Gen 1 and then your code. That code is the branch. And then once you get done germinating everything, and you can tell that I have 4 branches here. This is from fishing. I've never gotten G, so I'd have to look that one up. But I'll show you how to do that. So once it's done germinating, you'll notice the finished process is AG and then 4 zeros. How can you tell what this is? Well, if you go to the G&S website, there's a page that looks just like this. And you'll see these numbers here and going down, letters going down, and then you'll have your numbers going across, and it will actually have an explanation. So first one is A. We go to A, go over 1. We know that's red. Next one is G, so we'll do G, skip 1, 2, and dense. Okay. And the rest is 0. 0 means nothing, so it doesn't have any aromas or nuance. So this is a dense red wine. That's how you do that. Now once you get your wine, you'll left click, hit accept, res. Now I'm making this print because I got really bad memory. So I'm going to put AG 1, 2, 3, 4, and that lets me know what this is. And the reason why I do that is if you look on your cuttings, all it says is cuttings, nothing else. So if you take your wine out of here without recording the code, you won't actually know what it is until it actually gets done aging. Now, once you know, let's go ahead and set one of these up so y'all can see it. So Control C, let's take that. So I'm going to look for a wine to replace. And I think I'm going to do this. I'm not a huge fan of the white wines, really. So I'm going to go ahead and res this out. Now, what I like to do is get branches before I ever do anything from it, or get wine, so I'm not just wasting the product. So when you get branches, you'll res it out. You'll notice it says res immediately. It is taking the code from here and putting it into your branch. And when you pick it up, remember it doesn't have the code on here, so you want to have a folder or something so you don't lose track of what's what and where you get these from. So I'm going to unlink this real quick. So this is going to be AG 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is, see, nice spot. I like to open these and usually copy, because if you copy it, you can't mess it up. Usually, makes it harder. Red wine. We'll copy that, and so it's easier for me. And people sell things like this all the time, so they're not too hard to find usually. I do sell these as well. I think they're like a Linden or something. Very cheap. So I'm going to left click on this, and then I'm going to hit clear. And then it will ask you if I'm sure, and you will lose it, of course. Once you hit clear, it'll take your cuttings, and it will now add it to it. And again, I'm going to do English. While it's loading, that's not going to be a G00. You do about 1 care every 24 hours. So if you miss, 48 hours, that's 2 cares. I've never not hit a care on this. I don't know what would happen to the wine if you let it go farther than 36 hours. I'll do a test on one of my wines to figure that out, and I will put notes in there. So I'm going to hit care, and you have to do that 3 times, and I'll show you in the sub menu. And in chat, you'll see in open chat, care success. But when you click it again, you'll notice you can't hit care. You have to wait about 30 seconds before that comes back up. And each time it succeeds, it'll go up a point, and you have to get it to care 3. Now, when you do harvesting on it, you want to get your percentage to 300. You get it to 300. That's 3 baskets of grapes, and that's 3 barrels you'll get of that code. And once you get your barrels, I will show you what you do next. So we've gone over your branches, your cuttings, the germinators, and your wines. Now, you don't have to go to fishing tournaments to get your branches. You can go to like co-op or the maybe not the auction house, the GS markets. You can go to almost any of those places, and people do sell branches. I'm not sure what the branch prices for most people go. I go usually kind of cheap on my branches. The way I do it is I have my methods on where I do my counts for what the cost is, and then I do a 1 to 100 ratio in coin. So, however you want to do it. So, now at this point, you've got your baskets, and I'm going to show you what to do. And they have to be the baskets. They can't be the normal fills. They have to be a basket, whether you get 100% or 300% on your harvest. And when you get your baskets of grapes, I believe it just says grapes, but I have some I'll show you of what they look like. And if you don't record it all, it's not a big deal. It makes it a little bit harder to organize and figure things out, I think. So, now once before you press it or do anything, you'll want to pick up your press. Remember, it needs to be a 3.0. So, you'll pick up your press, you'll re-res it, and you'll go, let me get my grapes, sorry, baskets. Now the way I keep up with my grapes so I know what it is I have is I'll actually drag a copy of my sign with the basket of grapes, and then I'll know what it is. So I have one grape to do one barrel. You'll left click and you'll hit press. And to fill up a barrel, you have to hit fill. If you hit normal, you'll get a normal barrel and it won't be application. So hit fill. And that is it. You got 4 days for it to sit. And this you don't have to do. I like to do it. And they have to also sit on the sim of the application. Everything has to be on the same sim of the application. I did not mention that. So it is very important. You can pick these up and move it. My rule of thumb is as soon as I do an application barrel, I'll pick it up as soon as it's done. Like as soon as I'm done filling up, and I'll move it down here and I'll res it. I've never picked it up again until after it's done maturing. So now if you look at the bottle and you left click it, it does not say application on it at all. Don't freak out when you look at that. I got a little nervous. But you'll notice it doesn't have the code or what type of wine or anything. It just says grape juice. But my sign lets me know what I'm doing. So now, these are all application wines. But if you've noticed, let me come back over here so you can see. It says numbers 2. So why does it show only have 2 if I have all this application? Well, something I just found out is on the barrels, you'll notice this does say pick and play, application, and if you look on the submenu, you have 4 buttons, but none of them says number. If you look at this one, oh, I've already hit number, so I guess it doesn't show up anymore. But it'll say number 1. That means this is my first one that I actually activated. So it'll have this in there as a count, and it will automatically go to the website. Once you get to that point, you can, this is now application wine, so you can sell it in the barrel, or you can, see, we've got, I don't really have much wines to pick from. Let's see, we'll use this for an example. So this will give me a junk wine, but I want to show y'all what will happen. So we are taking two different types of wines, a sparkling with a fortified. So we're going to drag them sorry. Now you can pick these up if your bottling system's not by it. You can pick these up. I don't want to. So you'll notice these are two different wines. Fleshy, big fortified wine. And I'm going to blend these. And when you blend them, you need a blender. Now I don't know if you need to pick these up or not to reset them, but I would pick everything up wine related and re-res them just to be on the safe side with the application. So we're going to hit load, and you'll see it taking the wine from the barrels. Doesn't take long, as you can see. And while that's doing that real quick, apparently I ran out. So on these bottles, you get these from fishing. These are not aftermarket. These are your own personal bottles you can get from competition fishing. Everything is from competition fishing. I'm not sure if I was clear on that or not. The competition fishing is where you get your tunas and everything else, but you can also get barrels. Now, if you want to bottle up in these, you need to have this device out, and I can't read the Spanish part, so okay, so let me just copy the name. This is the one you'll need out, Wine Bottle Machine Plus, and it will take the bottles from here and get them out. So let me show you how this works. Once they get into here, this is now the code. This is the only time you'll see the code before it comes over. So you can put it onto a note card or a prim or whatever you're going to package it into. I suggest you put that onto there. So this is XH. The X means nothing, so it's going to be a mixture of wine. So I'm going to go ahead and hit bottle up. It's transferring to here and into here. That is 5. That means you get 5 bottles from it. So we're going to go ahead and get a bottle. We're going to hit accept. You see where it says res? When it says that, you have to res it as soon as you get it. You'll get a pop-up menu. This is a big mixture of wine with nuance of rose. And I like to hide my floating text. Actually, I'll turn that. I'll show the other one. So, edit. Okay, so now I know the code and the type of wine. Once you've resed it, you can pick it back up. You'll click and you'll hit get another bottle. And you can see it takes the bottles from here and you can res it out. It will still say pick and play wine. That's the application. It'll also say wine, pick and play, bottle 4 out of 4. And then floating text. So these will show and let people know that they are application wines. And that is it. On the barrels, you make them yourselves through woodworking, and I will be making another video on that and what you do to care for them. It is a lot of work to get a little thing of barrels. You can also buy barrels. I've seen them go for anywhere from 10 to 15 lindens, I believe is what they were going for. And the nice thing about doing the bottling is you can have two different really nice types of wines, and you can blend them together and get really nice mixtures, really high-end wines. But the thing I really like about it is you get your barrels back. So when you get your barrels back, you can go ahead and reuse them. You're not tying up all your barrels. And that is it.